you're like me, you're watching the celebrities on the red carpet and you're like, gosh, how do I look like that? Their makeup is perfect, their faces look perfect. There's a lot that goes into it. So how can we do it ourselves? Well, I always turn to my friend Dr. Ward because there's so many things we can do, but those celebrities, they've got a team of people, right?
Right.
They do. So how can we get it? How can we get that look?
Well, let's talk about that. But before we do that, I think one thing that is super interesting is that look that you're talking about is a look that we've known about for tens of thousands of years. The ancient Greeks knew about this. So it all comes down to what our mind likes to see that's beautiful, like what we're attracted to, follows some very standard principles. There's this special relationship of lines and angles called phi that helps explain it. So for example, when you look at a beautiful face, oftentimes there's this convexity of the cheek here, a concavity here of the lower cheek, and then a convexity here. So it kind of does this little curve. If you look at movie stars, if you look at actors or whatever, they all have this, So people and it's male or female. So if you look at say Natalie Portman, she's got this beautiful curvature to her cheek. But even for men, if you look at men, look at Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise.
They all look perfect.
They look perfect, and part of it is because they've had a little bit of help. They probably had cheek implants, they probably had jawline implants to help kind of do that. You'll never look at Tom Cruise's face again. If you look at him from the first Top Gun and the second Top Gun, you can totally see this curvature and how it does it. But for some reason, our mind likes to see that, and it's true in nature. It's the same pattern of sunflower seeds. It's what the ancient Greeks did when they built their structures.
Wow!
So it's persisted for thousands of years, and we just got to take advantage of it now in facial plastic surgery.
Wow, I would have never thought back to the ancient Greeks, seeing this, but it makes complete sense. So obviously we can do it, like you said, facial plastic surgery. It also comes through with makeup. There's a lot of ways to get that facial contouring. So let's walk them through the difference of, the simple makeup steps to doing it with facial plastic surgery.
Well, I think I'm glad you brought up the makeup thing because that's something that I think so many people understand. It's I want to highlight my cheek here. I maybe want to highlight my jawline, but I don't really want to highlight kind of the roundness of my lower cheek. So something that can be done pretty easily with makeup. What we can do surgically is we can kind of do that internally. So it's almost like you get that effect with surgery, so you don't have to do it with makeup. The way that we do it is, we can certainly add some volume here, we can add some volume here. Things like fillers are frequently done to do that.
Yes.
You can get cheek filler, jawline filler.
I've done it, it helps, I promise.
Another thing that you can do though is, sometimes we don't want to add so much here where it looks weird.
Totally.
So we can thin this area down here. So the technique that I developed to do that, I just refer to as surgical facial contouring, where we remove some of the soft tissue here, the fat under the skin here. And then there's also a special fat compartment inside the mouth that also gives some thickness here, the buccal fat, B-U-C-C-A-L fat. So we can kind of thin that down so it allows this to stand out more convex, this to not stand out so much, so concave, and this is convex. And then we often will do a little bit of sculpting of the lower under chin area to make this jawline stand out more.
And this is all to make people feel confident. That's the biggest thing that we like to stress is, those little things that you're doing for yourself, if they give you that boost of confidence, I'm all for it. And I'm in my opinion, it's great to do.
Yeah, we don't want to transform people in terms of changing who they are, changing their identity. Your face is your identity, right?
Yes.
We've got to enhance that. And if we've done something different where we're not enhancing that, I think we've made a mistake.
Yes, well, that's why we turn to the expert, Dr. Ward, so that he can help you look and feel your best without changing the way you look. How can they contact you or follow you on social media?
Yeah, just WardMD.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Dr. Ward.
Thanks.
WardMD has 3 locations, Cottonwood Heights, Riverton, and in City Creek. You can find out more information at wardmd.com. Hey, guess what time?